Good morning, everyone. This is Shelly Rivera, Coffee, Anxiety, and Love. How is everybody today on this beautiful Sunday, but yet very cold Sunday? So, yeah, I'm kind of like taco rolled up out here. We have everything out in the garage, so we work in the garage. We do have a heater, but it's very cold. So, just wanted to say hi. How is everybody doing? How are our goals and our accomplishments working out? Has anybody completed any or started any or really gotten involved in something new? Maybe a arts and craft book, puzzle, whatever it is, something small. Um, and the dogs keep stealing our heater. Like they'll get in between us. Like we have the heater right at our feet underneath our table, and all four of the dogs start trying to push in to get to the heat. So everybody's cold, but they won't go inside because we're outside, so they'll stay outside and freeze. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to check up on everybody, see how everybody's doing. I've actually started reading a new book. I have not finished still Becoming Michelle yet. I've been reading that off and on. And today I'm working on a brand new project. I started on my Astros hat bands yesterday, so I'm trying to complete one part of it. As soon as I get done with that, then I'll do my workout real quick. And then I'm going to, today I've designated as Sunday Read Day. So there's a book I'm reading right now by, oh God, his name is Ignacio something. I can't, my husband knows, CJ knows. Um, but anyway, he's an indigenous individual from Mexico. And he started writing all these books about his background, heritage, where he's from, experiences he's had. And I started reading Los Sin Dios is the name of the book. Los Sin Dios. And I just read the intro the other day and started the first chapter. And just his introduction, I got so much just off of his introduction. We actually were driving to visit somebody. I forgot where. CJ and I were going, but I just started going through because CJ's understanding more of this, more of his indigenous background and things like that. Yeah, I'm indigenous. I mean, I don't know my background. I don't know exactly where I'm from. I know some of my great grandparents are from Mexico. I know my great grandpa uh, evidently fought, in the war with Pancho Villa, but we're still looking for all the documentation on that. So yeah, there's indigenous roots in me from Mexico, but for the most part, the past couple of generations have been in here in Texas. Of course, we were here when it shifted over to Texas. It was Mexico. Um, so indigenous roots, yes, we do have them. Where exactly we're from, how far back, what it exactly is, I don't know. But CJ, on the other hand, is Navajo. His dad is Navajo. And so he has a better grasp and understanding because he's been doing more research on this. Since he is part Navajo, he's been doing more research into the history and things like that on what's gone on with the indigenous Americans. And so I started reading this book, and just on the intro, we sat there for a little while, and I asked question after question after question, just really questioning everything that I understood myself to be. Chicana number one. Chicana because, family from Mexico, but born and raised here in the States. And Chicana is not really ethnicity. It's more, I don't want to say it's a lifestyle either, but it's what we grew up with, what the background was, not speaking Spanish very well, listening to the Tejano music here in Houston, and it was a different type of growing up, lifestyle, I guess. And that's what I knew myself to be, a Mexican American, and a Chicana, and I was always told, nopal enfrente, and didn't understand what that meant. And little by little, I've been going in and researching myself and doing my background and trying to get my family tree together and trying to find out my roots. And you go into it more and more, and you start finding out who you are. So you start paying attention more to things that are being said, things that are coming about as far as the indigenous people all over. And it's just interesting. I'm really interested and excited to get into this book and see. Oops. Sorry, I dropped something on my husband's. And just see how far in he's gotten as to his understanding of who he is. So, that's what I'm doing right now. And that's my goal, is to get, really deep into that book and really start opening up some more questions that I need to ask myself and my family. And I need to do this before, number one, unfortunately, the family starts forgetting more. My dad doesn't remember a lot anymore. And I still have a lot of family members, brothers and sisters of my dad, my aunts and uncles, that, you talk to everyone and everyone remembers something different. So you pull all that information together and you get closer and closer to who you are and where you came from. My grandma and grandpa on my dad's side have been gone for many, many years now. They passed away a long time ago when I was little. And my grandma from my mom's side, she passed away about maybe 18, 19, maybe 20 years ago. And my grandpa recently passed away maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember exactly. I want to say maybe 3 years ago. I want to say it was 2021. And 2020 or 2020, something like that. But anyway, so I need to talk to what's remaining. My mom has a very small family, so there's not very many left, and it's my mom. And she has some paperwork and documentation that we've been going over and looking at. And then, like I said, my dad's family, it was a big family, so there's still a lot of them around that I can talk to and pick their brains and get, pieces of information from everybody and kind of pull all that together. So that's going to be a big goal for next year, is finishing up my family tree and putting that together for my grandkids and letting them know who they are, so they have an understanding of what they need to be proud of and how they need to present themselves as far as indigenous individuals. And they need to understand that they are indigenous. Yes, they're considered Mexicans here, Hispanics, and not really Hispanics, because Hispanics is going to be more pertaining to those of Spanish descent. Now, I do have some Spanish descent in my lineage, from what I understand, either my grandma or somebody in her family, her mom or somebody like that. I'm not really sure. But like I said, I'm getting into that next year and seeing where all that goes. So goals, getting ready for next year. That's what I'm trying to get to, is what are we getting ready to do for next year? What challenges do we want to, take on for next year? And just little things like that you can do that are self-healing, self-care, and just getting to know who you are in general, working out. Yeah, I have been working out very consistently for the past few months, and there's been noticeable change in my belly. It's actually finally shrinking a little bit. I didn't expect a miracle overnight or anything like that. Been there, done that, so it doesn't happen that way. But I have noticed a lot more mobility and flexibility in my body, and I am getting stronger. I think this week coming up, I should be able to bump up my weight maybe another 5, maybe 10 pounds. but I'm gonna see how that feels. I'm gonna, of course, you go in and you try to do the max, which is, I want to go up 10 pounds, but we'll see how that's gonna work out and see if that feels good for me to push and pull and lift up over my head. Is gonna be the challenge for me because my shoulders are not the way they used to be, not as strong as they were. I do feel some tightness and some pulling and strain in there. So I know it's just coming with age. It's not the same as it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, I could just push, pull, and move around and do things like that. And it happens fast, guys. It happens fast. So keep moving. Whatever you're doing, if you haven't started, get started. If you're moving, keep moving. That's all I can say. And I think that's it for today. We're just about halfway through December, and we're almost to the end of the year. My brother's birthday is on Tuesday, so we're going to be dealing with that. And my birthday's at the end of the month, and my cousin, who's very, very sick, her birthday's on the 21st with my grandma. And there's just a lot happening in December, and I just want to wish everybody a happy, blessed month, and that you find everything you need. My little family's going through some struggles right now. My son was laid off right before Thanksgiving. Still hasn't been able to find a job. He's pretty much been out there everywhere, and just, it's a bad time to try to pick up a job, unfortunately. So, bad time to be let go, and a bad time to find a job. So, he's really dealing with life and growing up and things like that, and it's been a challenge for him. It's been a learning process, a life learning process right now, and it's proven to be very difficult for him. So I just keep him in my heart, and I wake up every morning being grateful that we're all still here and that we're holding on. Because I want to do one of these without crying. This year has been such a big challenge for us, for me personally. And, as parents, you try to protect your kids as much as possible and keep them in that bubble. And for everything you do, you just can't. You can't. You have to let them experience it. You have to let them go. You have to let them go through whatever they're going to go through. And it's extremely hard watching it when they have to. Extremely hard. You just want to go over there, lift them up, pick them up, and carry them again and tell them, it's going to be okay, I got you. But when they're almost 30 years old, you can't do that anymore. They have to learn to do it for themselves. And unfortunately, we've dealt with it. I dealt with it when I was married before to their dad. We dealt with it a couple of times, getting laid off, losing our jobs, not having any money, worried about feeding the kids. Because there was times when, their dad and I didn't eat because we needed to give the food to the kids. So yeah, we all have to go through it at one point in time. But you just never want to see your kids go through it. And it's going to be okay. He's going to make it through. It's going to get really hard. But I know he's going to be okay. So, whatever you do, have a good day. Take care of yourself. Make sure you know where you are in life and what you need to prepare for. And most importantly, make sure you have fun. Shelly Rivera, coffee, anxiety, and love. One of these I'm gonna get through without crying, guys. Have a healthy, happy, prosperous, and especially abundant Sunday. Love you guys.